Hey guys, my name is Shan. If you're watching this video, that means you are curious to how to get your synthetic wig or fiber wig or any kind of non-human wig to look a kind of certain way or style it. Now here today, I'm going to be using my old synthetic wig from 2 years ago that was supposed to be used for a Halloween costume and was never used. It was just thrown away in the basement. So today we're pretty much going to style it, and to get started you're going to go ahead and braid your hair back. I do recommend, if you have longer hair, to braid them a lot smaller versus me who have shorter hair. Before, I used to just put gel when I had less hair and just put a cap over it like that. You can use any color cap pretty much because again, this is not a lace wig, so you won't have to worry about anything special in the front. So I only put the cap mainly to keep my braid secured and to not unravel while underneath the wig. So once I have the wig on my head, I pretty much try to fill it out and see how I might like it. I never know exactly how I might want my wigs to be styled, especially when I order them from online or they come a certain way. Now pretty much what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and section the hair off because I've decided I want to do a side part bob. And doing that will allow the cutting to be a lot easier. So I went ahead and I put a rubber band in the back to allow the cutting process to go a little bit easier. I do not do good at cutting my hair. So if you're able to cut your own hair, kudos to you, because I cannot. Now I cut from the back angle instead of the front. That way it can give me that bob look of going more down, kind of like that vertical look. I think that's what it is. And then I go ahead and I go to the other side and I do pretty much the same thing. Very simple. Now, of course, the hair is a little bit easier to cut because it's thinner in the front and I sectioned it. So make sure you section it because you will find yourself cutting a whole lot more than need to be, and you will give yourself a lot more work. Again, this is a synthetic wig. This is my very first time ever in my 10 years of wearing extensions and wig that I have ever styled a synthetic wig. Not that I've ever had anything against them. I've just never really saw a synthetic wig that caught my interest. But due to the quarantine where I'm at home and I'm stuck and I have nothing to do but to be bored out my mind, I accepted the challenge of transforming this wig to something a lot more fitting to wear. So I'm going to go ahead and cut whatever pieces that are hanging loose. I normally don't get it the first try or the second try, sometimes not even the third try. But that's what's great about it. You can always remove the wig, put it back on your mannequin. If you don't have a mannequin, I highly suggest you get one because it'll be a lot easier to see the back of the wig once you take it off of your head. As you can see, I have not glued anything down because I do plan on taking the wig off once the cutting is done. You're going to go ahead and cut at a angle from the bottom, cutting up. These scissors are a bit rusty because I am in my garage, so I grabbed the nearest scissors that I can find to pretty much help the job get done. So again, if you have something sharp, go ahead, feel free to use it. It will make the process a lot more easier. Now, because I'm not sure how the cutting looks in the back or on the sides, again, this is why I don't attach my hair down. The only downfall about this wig is that it does not have any clips, just a secure band to pretty much hold it together. So I will have to make sure that I secure it very tightly, especially if I'm going to wear it on a day-to-day basis. So what I'm doing now is pretty much putting it on the mannequin so I can trim any extra pieces. I do recommend starting off with the scissors first. If you do have some clippers make it a lot easier. So take that step, get you some clippers or use somebody's clippers. I guarantee you it makes it a lot easier, not just cutting non-human hair, but any kind of hair. It makes it a lot easier. So once I'm done with that, I'm pretty much gonna put it back on any other day. I normally gel the front of my hair down, but I try to avoid gelling the front down only because I have very sensitive skin, and I also do have skin problems that cause very bad dry skin around my edges, and a lot of times it allows my edges to fall off, but thank God they grow back. But then it constantly does the same thing, which is fall back off again. So some days I have edges, some days I don't. Stay tuned. I might have a future video coming on how to show you how to adjust your edges to where any other day look, whether it's a ponytail or just leaving your edges out in general. Now right here, we're going to get the makeup ready for the scalp. Again, this is a bit of a challenge because this is a different kind of wig and it's not a lace. So I pretty much had to try to take my time and find out how to make this color stick to the scalp so it can look more natural. So once applying a color tone close to yours on the scalp, you go ahead and you put the wig back. If you want to wait till after you have the wig to apply it, go ahead. I just recommend doing it before. You might still see a piece of hair hanging or maybe a couple. Again, I don't get it right the first 1 to 3 times. So if you did, cool. If not, you know, don't get down about it. Just cut it again, those pieces once you take the wig off. Right now, I'm pretty much just realigning the wig how I had it before. Sometimes after I put the wig, I pretty much change it again. Now, I do apologize because at this point, I thought that I was still recording how I was doing the edges. So that did frustrate me that I was not able to show how I laid the edges down. I am, you know, new to this video editing, let alone recording. This is my first video and you guys are watching it through firsthand, my first time. So maybe another video, I'll actually be able to show you a lot better how I was able to lay the edges down. But until then, I was able to put the edges down. And once you're done doing that, you pretty much whip out your flat iron, whip out some clips. You don't have to do section by section because, again, this is not a human wig, so you don't have to worry about that. You might want to set your flat iron to low heat, especially if it's synthetic like this one. If it's fiber, you can put it up a little bit higher, or you can start off low and then slowly turn the heat back up. All flat irons are different. Some are a bit hotter than others. Now, what I'm going to do is this allows me a lot with some of my fiber wigs, so I figured it should help with the synthetic wig. I'm pretty much going to use some of that same Gots to Be spray on it. Again, like I said, that's a sticker from it, so it was from a Halloween costume. So I'm pretty much going to flat iron it a little bit, and then I'm going to take my Gots to Be spray, and I'm going to spray maybe 1 or 2 pumps into my hand. And then once I do that, I'm pretty much going to rub it together and put it in the section that I would like to flat iron. Once you have a good amount in there, you go ahead and you comb it out. And then you flat iron that piece. And again, make sure that your heat is not turned too high. Now, once you do that, you go over it again, or you keep pretty much going over it as much as you want until it's flat enough. I like for my hair to have a lot of volume, but that's just me. Then you go and you do the next section, pretty much the same thing, spritz 1 or 2 pumps. After you spray it in your hand, you rub it together and apply it to that section, just like how you did before. Make sure you get as much hair as you can, because this way, not only is it straightening out the hair, it's pretty much locking in that little bump you have at the end. And feel free to trim any hairs that you may see. It's locking in that little bump that you may want your bob to have. It's also keeping that same shape that you may want. So that's just something I came along while using, you know, wigs that were non-human. You're pretty much going to go to the other side and you are going to do the exact same thing. Now, keep in mind, you can do the sections whatever size you want. You can do big sections, small sections. Normally, you know, with a fiber wig, it might be different. Because I've never used this kind of hair before, I don't want to say it was just a whatever thing. But I pretty much just kind of wanted to go through it to kind of like make it a bit quick but brief as into how I managed to get this done. Again, if I'm able to help even one person, like that's awesome, you know. Again, I just wanted to see, you know, after experimenting with this wig a little bit, if anything could be done to it. So as I was going along with the video, I was actually starting to become impressed how for something that's a synthetic wig was to be able to have so much done to it, and let alone be moving the way that it's moving. I can't tell you how long it's going to be moving like that, but it's definitely moving now, so that's all that matters. I'm pretty much going to try to do some more in the back. You want to try to evenly get all sections if possible, and flat iron whatever pieces that may need to. I did notice that there was a few strings that were sticking up, some that were in the top. What I pretty much did was sprayed a little bit more of the Gots to Be spray on top. That way, again, it could hold those hairs intact and hold the rest of the hair together. So as you can see, this is how it looks. I did go back and I did trim some off camera because I wanted to be satisfied with how it looks. What I did was take a little small mirror and I pretty much started cutting the back. So again, this is your wig. You know, you cut it the length you want it. You fix it for your liking, because at the end of the day, you're gonna wear it. So whether you're a human wig wearer or a non-human wig or both like me, you style it the way you want. I do love to easily put my human wigs and human extensions on, but especially times like this or any other time where I'm bored or not working, I'm one that definitely loves a challenge. And I will definitely say this was definitely a challenge. This video did take a total of an hour, I would say an hour and 15 minutes to make. Anybody that's not familiar with styling the hair, it may be a lot longer. I'm not gonna lie. Again, have patience with it, because always remember, whenever you're dealing with non-human hair, you have to have patience. Whether you're bringing it back to life or it's a new collection and you're trying to style it a certain way, always remember to have patience. I did notice a bit more hairs. It is like, again, it is frustrating. The good thing about these wigs is if you mess up, they weren't expensive, and you can always figure out something new to do with them. So don't get discouraged. If you're afraid to mess up a good wig, and you like wearing real wigs, I will always say to practice on a non-human wig first. Better to mess up on that than to mess up on the actual thing. Now, these are the final results of me doing it. This is me pretty much applying of light makeup to kind of feel the look out for when I do end up going out, to see how it makes me feel. I feel like as women, whenever we put our makeup, it kind of boosts our confidence a little bit more, especially with the wigs. So this is how it looks, and I can't wait to step out with it. And again, this was just a quick tutorial of how I style my non-human wigs, and this is pretty much the outcome. Not bad for a first try, I feel like, or my first video. So I do look forward to making more videos of how to get my wigs together. And there's my secret. It's out now. So be sure to subscribe for my upcoming videos. I will love you guys forever. And thank you so much for even watching it all the way through. Bye.